Hey you guys, so let's get cozy. Let's get cozy. I'm gonna put my slippers on the heater. It's so cold. It got down to like 40 last night. Actually, there was frost out there. I think it was in the 30s. They said it was 42, but I don't know. I have to call bullshit on that. Okay, so I'm trying to get comfortable. This isn't how I normally hang out or sit. By the way, Bubba wanted to come today. Say hi, Bubba. She's like, what's up? Okay, so, I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. If people are like, oh, she's crazy, I'd be like, yep, that's my familiar. She's living in my stuffed animal, but she's not always there, which is really cool. In fact, how I know she's here is because when they told me this was all going to take place, I'm in my jams. Like, I'm just like chilling out, doing my own thing. And the last like 72 hours or more have been so intense that I'm like up, I'm down, I'm over, I'm under, I'm all over the place. And when they called me to do this, they said, just as you are, like old school, just do it old school. Don't get ready, don't whatever. We're going to pull some cards. They're like, just get into it. And everything was set up and I felt like we're missing something. And that's when Bubba told me she wanted to come in and say hello. Hello. She's like, oh, hello. She's so funny. She still has her awesome sense of humor. I don't know if you guys can feel her, but so the stuffed animal's name is Sherwood of Sherwood Forest. And then when Bubba passed, she, I can't, it's too much. She moved into my stuffed animal, but I had the stuffed animal before Bubba. And then she explained to me near her death that she's always been with me in one form or another. And when I rescued Sherwood, she came to me like months after. So there's a lot of magic in the air. There's a lot of crazy shit happening. I don't know about you guys, but I've been bawling my eyes out. I mean, I have my own personal stuff and reasons. Today in real time is October 14th, 2025. Yesterday was my mother's Earth birthday. She would have been 77. And it's her second birthday now that she's crossed over. And I'm just feeling like this energy of intent, but also great loss. I have been happy. I have been sad. I have been all over the map. Had my family understood that I was an empath, they could have helped so much, myself included. You know what I mean? Like if I knew what I was. But the interesting thing was, and I just got it. I was watching Jimmy Fallon and Taylor Swift's like old parody when he plays that young girl talk like that. Sorry, I'm all over the map. There's so many things, and I'm feeling like is anybody? I'm getting they're itching my. That's so interesting. I think my Aunt Kim is here because I got these tattoos when I went on a trip to see my mom with my Aunt Kim. They're snowflakes. I didn't find out. I knew they were young, but I didn't find out until after they started that I was their fourth client. They did the best they could, but yeah, someday I will definitely have to get these cleaned out. My arm has been blue for a long time. They obviously like bled into my skin. But I digress. There's so much happening. There are so many energies here. It's unbelievable. Okay, so let's get on task. All of these things that I'm saying may seem like I'm just like talking rubbish and like all over the place, but they're all going to come back together. They're all going to come back around. Okay. So if you have some amethyst, grab it. If you have a talisman or friend or trophy or animal, you may want to bring them in. This is a group session. This is me sharing my life with you, which I have been really, really more than I ever thought I would. at this stage anyway, in my life, in my relationships, in my understanding. I'm like shoving it. I'm like, get in there, healing energy. Get in there, amethyst. No, seriously. I had all these different plans today. And you know, whenever we make plans, spirit laughs. Ha 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 ha. Because we don't always know better. Sometimes we do. Sometimes our intuition, you know. But I realized lately I've still been trying to control things just in different ways. And, you know, it's like instant karma is going to get you. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Like, and every time it does, Spirit's been like, and they'll show me something right away. And I'm like, oh shit. Oh my God, that is controlling. I guess I never thought of that as controlling. So I'm learning a lot. I'm shuffling through a lot. I'm understanding a lot. Somebody needs fairy bells, so mind your ears. Just gentle. Just to break up some energy. You might have some stagnant dark energy around you. So I was going to work on the yard today. It is so fucking windy, but it's like high of 56 windy. I'm not ready for that. Not to mention that, because I was like, oh, it's clear blue skies. I'm like, that's perfect. It'll be nice and warm, you know. But we've got one more day that according to the weather, it's going to be nice tomorrow as well. It's just going to be a little cloudier. But like half the wind. Because when it's windy like this, I mean, I'm off the water. It's like, even if I'm like having a good time and working up a good sweat outside, it's like when it's like 12, you know, and plus an hour, last I looked, it was 11 and it's really kicked up. That shit, it feels like it just goes right through you. Like, I grew up in Chicago, man. That shit, I would say to people, I'm like, you can't understand Chicago cold. Because I'm like, it's both dry and wet at the same time. I'm like, it just hits your bones, man. That's what this is like. It's like, it can be nice, but man, that fucking wind comes through and it's like, whoa. So I'm like, I'm not going to push a fucking lawnmower against 12-mile-per-hour winds. You know what I mean? Like, so, but tomorrow looks good, and I'm going to do it tomorrow. But I really wanted to get it done today. But let me tell you something. Why this all came together is, as I was like gearing myself, I was cool about it. I was like, you know, I had a horrible night's sleep. It was so fucking cold in here last night. I couldn't even believe how cold it was. And I have the means to like make it warmer, you know, like put more, you know, fabrics out or put this in front of that, whatever. I didn't get any vibe before I went to bed. And I was in these weird places. I think I was astral traveling, and I was definitely in subconscious city. And I woke up this morning and I had a heavy heart. I felt really emotional. I kept wanting to go back to sleep. But the interesting thing was, it's not like I was trying to go back to like a really good dream. I felt like I was trying to go back to sleep because like I had to do something. I had to finish something, or, you know. But I feel like that was subconscious city saying, can you let it go? No, you can't go back. You're up now. And it made me think, am I controlling in my other realms too? Like, is this a soul thing? Is this something that I've orchestrated as from my family and my ancestors? Maybe. Probably so. I'm definitely the ancestral breaker in my family. One of them anyway. One of the many rebels. I love you, Aunt Peggy. My Aunt Peggy just came through. Hi, Aunt Peggy. And my Aunt Kim came through. My two rebel aunts. They were my two favorite aunts. My Aunt Peggy was from my dad's side, and my Aunt Kim was from my mom's side. But anyway, I kept hearing this, like, not today, not today. And I'm like, oh, man, I really just want to get this done. I really want to move through this. I want to be done with this. I want to get over, you know. And I see something run. Now, the drapes are not fully see-through, but they're hemp. So, you know, you can see outlines. You can definitely see if something's moving through them. And all of a sudden I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I literally like pull back the curtain and I see this big ass fucking coyote go running by in the marshy wetlands. And it was, I mean, my first thought was like, is that a dog? Because it was really big and it was really like puffy. And then it was interesting because I feel like last night, and then that coyote looking so puffed out, I was like, yeah, it's going to be a cold one. I'm like, it's going to be, I can feel it. I can really, really feel it. So feel it. I'm like, oh, look at my little girl, like, I can feel it. It's going to be cold, you know. I can, oh, we're going to be cold. I'm like, no. But no, seriously, I did feel that spirit is like, it's time, like you need to get ready and get this place, you know, because we did one phase of winterizing, and the other day Alder was like, so is it warmer in there? And I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, definitely. And he's like, well, you didn't say anything about it. I go, I did. I sent you a message and said it. He goes, you said it looked good. You didn't say it was warmer in there. And I was like, and then I realized, I'm like, is it his ego? Am I like not recognizing that, like, ooh, when I looked up, I saw this thing that says good deeds. You know, some people need a little more praise than others. Some people, you know, want to know that they did well. And it's been like, I feel like I've been boxing with his energy, because I feel like sometimes if I overpraise him, or if I praise him even just a little, sometimes that can feed certain parts of him. So I've kind of retracted a little bit, and then I give in. It's just been a very, like, seriously, like bobbing and weaving, like we're dancing. I'm like, I don't really know what's going on. I'm like, I don't know what's really happening. And then when I had this breakthrough, that's my house shaking. You can hear how windy it is. My wind chimes are going crazy. When I looked up, it was 12/11, then 12/12, and 12/13. Interesting, because 12/13 is my birthday, and one of my guardian angels' birthday is 12/11. Anyway, a lot's happening right now. So much is coming through. The ancestors are coming through. But long story short, I really feel the reason why Spirit wanted me to do this is because we're not out of the woods yet. And it's going to come for all of us. This energy, this, you know, this kind of loss. Thank you. This really heavy loss energy, because we're realizing more and more now, like, in order for us to move forward, we really do have to let, like, our past go. We have to let things go. And maybe this is just where I'm at right now. Maybe this is just what I'm feeling, but I feel like it may be time for me to say goodbye to the peninsula. And I hope that Alder comes with me, but something happened yesterday. He stopped by to help me with some chores, and I was doing my best to stay positive, and I was putting his food together, and I couldn't, it was like I was frozen, not with fear, just like ambiguous energy. Like I wasn't sure what to do. I wasn't sure what to say. I had been going through so many emotions over the weekend, and I was like, I mean, reading at that party and being a part of that community and everything, it was just so crazy. I don't know when they're going to have me post them, but I did a podcast profit. I did me cooking and talking about things. So I don't know, chicken and the egg, this too. I don't know when they're going to have me put them out. I always like to say the dates so that people can kind of, if they ever wanted to chronologically order them, or if they were like, what? It's like, go back and watch that one. But I always had this feeling I was meant to live my life out loud, and I had a friend who gave me this really beautiful plaque that was, I forget who said it. I believe it was one of her favorite writers or poets, because she's phenomenal in literature, in connection with literature. But it said, fortune favors the bold. Shit. I cried in both of those too, and I'm trying not to. And I've been crying for days. And so this is what happened. Yesterday, I go to give him the food, and he was sitting on the ground, and he looked so beautiful, and the sun was behind him, and I about lost my shit. Because all I wanted to do was grab a bowl for myself and sit next to him outside and have a meal together. But I didn't want to chase him away, and I said, do you want me to heat it up for you and so you can have it now? And because I said it's not that, still kind of room temperature. He's like, no, I'm gonna take it. And I could tell he had a long day at work, and then he came by here, and well, I don't know if he had a long day at work, but he worked, and then he came by here, and I know we both have a lot on our plate this week, so I just said, I said, hey, I'm like, do you have a minute? And he was like, yeah. And I could tell he did. Like, I felt like even though I could tell he was like on his way out, I also can feel that he definitely could hold space for me if I needed it. And I just told him, I said, I don't understand what's happening to me. I said, but I have never felt more alone in my life. I said, and I know I'm not, like, I'm never alone. Like, this room is always full, you know what I mean? Like, I can fill this space, like there's so many angels and energies that look out for me. They're outside my house, inside my house, they're everywhere. I feel them, I'm like, I don't believe in hexes or anything like that. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. But I felt yesterday was kind of like this little cry out of like, I said, we're in the last week. I said, today's the third quarter moon. I said, next week is the new moon in Libra. And I said, we'll be going into air, and the next day we'll be going into Scorpio energy, water. And I said, this time of year has been challenging in the past. I said, but if you're aware of it, you may be able to understand and navigate it better. So I just wanted to say that. And I said, because and I just started crying, and I'm like, I said, I'm all over the place. And I said, I'm just not sure where I fit in. And I said, I'm pretty sure I'm meant to move off the peninsula. And I can't believe I'm saying that, because I feel like this is my home. I'm like, but I said, there's just, I feel like next year, I feel like I'm going to be here for like maybe till next year, maybe early next year, maybe before that, I don't know. I guess we'll see what comes my way. Only Spirit knows. I'm going to take it day by day. But as of right now, I feel like I'm moving out. But I don't know where I'm going, or if I'm staying in the Pacific Northwest, or if I'm meant to go to another continent, or I have no idea. Country, I have no. But as of right now, it's hard to say, because one can never really make any real serious decisions at the end of a dark moon cycle after weeks and weeks of, shadow dancing with the light and fighting for, I'm tired as fuck. And I feel like a lot of people, especially light workers, are tired as fuck. And I kept seeing, it's interesting because I kept seeing the World Series, and I kept seeing October 24th. And today I was looking at my calendar, and I was like, that's so interesting, because October 24th is United Nations Day. I did not know that. So in real time, we're here. And this week, I feel like this week moving forward is going to be really fucking insane and intense. Especially because Scorpio season doesn't fuck around. I know my moon's in Scorpio, and I know that's why I'm starting to get emotional, because my body is releasing all of this heavy fucking tension and work that I've been doing with Alder since July. And basically, in so many words yesterday, I just announced that, like, I'm moving on up. I'm like to the east side. And so I'm like, I don't know where I'm going or what's happening, but I was like, this may be, I'm like, I just said in the most loving way because I meant it. It just came out so naturally. And I was like, dude, I don't want to force anything. I'm like, I don't want to give any ultimatums. I'm like, that's not what I'm doing. I won't anymore. I said, if you want to be here, I want you to be here because you want to be here. I said, if not, I'm like, I'm not going to do that. And it was a very nice, very loving conversation. We parted amicably. And like I said, I had a lot of stuff happen in dream time last night. And then I woke up this morning and I did even more winterizing yesterday. And I was like, gosh, how much colder would it have been if I hadn't done that? You know, I was like, holy shit. So there's definitely some interesting things that are happening and a brewing right now. A lot of things will have to shift and change in here if I am going to stay alone, because I'm gonna, you know what, and if you guys can, what I think I'm gonna do is, if spirit calls me to, maybe I'll put some well, I usually like to buy secondhand things, so things don't end up in landfills. But basically, no, you know what, I'm gonna put a pin in that. If they want me to say anything after this, I will. If not, I'm just gonna put a pin in that. I'm gonna put a pin in that. There must be something else coming my way. They do that. I'll just be doing the dishes and they're like, look on Craigslist free. And I look on Craigslist free. They tell me exactly where to go. And it's like been up an hour or like 20 minutes. It's like the third thing in or something. Sometimes it's the first thing and it's like, oh, cool. It's exactly what I need. I message them. Sometimes they're like, oh, yeah, cool. When can you come by? Sometimes they're like, oh, sorry, but you're next in line if they don't show up. And then a week later, they're like, hey, you still want that thing? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, cool, I didn't know you still had it, you know? So everything arrives exactly when it's meant to. So I'm just gonna leave that for now. Also, my eyes keep going to this sign on this propane bottle that says we're hiring, not for you to work in a propane place, but I feel like for some of you, something like that. Like, I feel like either you're in a job you don't like. This is what happens. Sometimes it's like 1 minute we're talking about whatever and they just shift gears, and that's just how it works. If you're new here, welcome. If you're coming back, you know how it goes. I'm a medium. I didn't even call. I mean, I kind of called you guys in and called in our guides and stuff, but like not like a full on like I was going to do with you. Maybe they'll still have me do that. But anyway, this definitely is for at least one person, because I started watching The Good Witch again. It's free on YouTube this month, and the series. I watched all the movies again, and then I watched the series, and it's been really cool. And it's interesting how Cassie puts out like help wanted signs, and then she'll help somebody and they work there for like whatever until they need whatever, and then they leave, and then she puts out another help wanted sign, or the same one. It's a pretty one, like looks like a handmade one that I'm sure she did, right? Like, because she's a magical creative creature, you know, even in like the land of whatever, she's alive and real somewhere. But anyway, I feel like somebody keeps walking past a for sale, ooh, that might be it too, for sale. This just split off into two different messages. I feel like one of you keeps walking by, maybe in your town or a place where you're visiting, maybe for work, and you're like, but how would I move here? What would I do? And they're like, take it one step at a time. Sometimes you just need the job first. Sometimes you need to move first, you know. That's maybe why I saw the for sale sign. So maybe it's time to sell your house or sell like something. This is interesting. And I'm seeing like the help wanted though, for sure. Like where you're like, you know, one of the people that she hired, they said, I've never done this before. I don't work in retail. I worked in hair. And she's like, that's okay. She's like, it's, you work with people. It's the same thing. It's just different, you know, whatever. But she helps her find her passion of making jewelry, because she can tell that she, you know, she knows, she just knows. So she's like, hey, can you do this project for me with these beads and whatever? And, you know, it's like, sometimes we have to like lead people in the right direction when they need to go there, you know? So that is for somebody. Drink some more water. The for sale one is precarious, because I feel like for some of you, you're hiding behind it. You know who you are. And my back is starting to hurt really bad. And it was like, this pillow like made it worse. I feel like for some of you, you keep putting, I feel like you keep putting something behind your back that you think is helping you, but it's not. It's actually, you need to sit like, maybe you need to sit a different way or a different, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just got that message from Spirit, because I never put that pillow behind my back. And I was like, oh yeah. Because I'm like, you know, I've got multiple layers on and I'm getting kind of squished in. And hey, buddy. But I felt like I wanted to get closer to you guys. So I feel like that's for somebody too. Amethyst for sure. So let's put some good energy out into the universe right now. We are being so tested with our gifts. We are being tested with our energy. And hopefully you're in your gym jams too. You're just hanging out on your bed with your stuffy or your significant other or your animals, your plants, or all of the above. So I call upon your higher self and my higher self. I call upon the healing energies of the universe. And I call upon our higher selves to receive this beautiful, loving, healing energy. You can call it Reiki, you can call it whatever you want to call it. I call it healing energy from the universe. Thank you, Spirit. With loving grace and gratitude, we accept this healing energy from the universe. Thank you, Spirit. We are feeling run down, and some of us are feeling lost and are feeling loss and are feeling like our lives feel like there's a for sale sign and a help wanted. So there's a lot of energy going on here, Spirit. A lot of things that we need to release and let go. Release and let go. Spirit is here to hold space for you. The ancestors are here. Welcome, ancestors. Thank you for being here. We call upon all those who wish to be here in loving grace, in light, in love, in healing energy. We release and let go of shadow. Take in some deep breaths through your nose. Push out through your mouth. And when you're doing that, envision a beautiful white light healing energy coming into every fiber of your being. As you breathe out in any way that feels safe and healthy to you, wish it well. The energies that no longer serve your greatest and highest good, as they go back into the ether, back into the love, back into light. Back into light, back into love. It's all the same. You don't have to say it in a certain way. Spirit understands. We push back control with loving, healing energy as we recognize and understand that it's not our energy. It's an old, outdated, archaic energy that doesn't belong to us. We release and let it go. 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 We not for us. We release and let it go. As above, so below, as within, so without. Thank you for healing us from the inside out and the outside in. Thank you for balancing and healing our chakras and our auric field of that which no longer serves our greatest and highest good. Thank you for clearing and balancing our chakras and our auric field of that which no longer serves our greatest and highest good. And so it is. Each individual, with grace and gratitude, we accept this healing spirit with blessings of love and light and kindness and love. We release and let go. May the wind take our pain and suffering. Thank you, Libra energy. Thank you, grounding earth energy of Virgo moon. This shadow moon has brought us so much these last several years, intensified over the last several months, have brought us to where we are now. May we now release with peace the old versions of us that no longer serve our greatest and highest good. We love you so much. With grace and gratitude, we say goodbye. Picture a bonfire in your mind. It's safe there. Say, thank you, bonfire. With a chef's kiss, throw in all of your thoughts and energies. You're writing them down in your consciousness as your consciousness is allowing them to burn away. Allow the subconscious to bring to the surface all of the shadow and dark energy that has lived with you through millennia, through lifetimes, through dimensions, through all space and time. Through the universe, we release and let go. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah. Do whatever feels good in your mind, body, and soul, wherever you are. Who cares who sees you? Who cares who's watching? Can you allow it to happen? I'm allowing this to go all over YouTube. Release and let go. Go with the flow. Ha! Can you do it? Can you jump in a cold bath? Can you allow your soul and your avatar to connect on a spiritual plane? As above, so below. Get grounded in the earth. Go walk barefoot where it's safe. Stay on the earth as long as you can. That's where you find your strength. Old wise ones in the earth. Some of you have scars here. There's no shame. There's no shame in wanting to leave here. This place has been wretched. There's no shame. Whether you sliced it, put a needle there, it's not you. It's an old version of you. whether this life or another one. Don't carry that shame with you. Lula has tried to kill herself 7 times. 7 cycles. 7 things come in. She's released from sin because it's not part of her true self. As we try to speak through here and now, she's challenging us. She's challenging us. It's been a minute since we came in. I'm a voice for the ancestors. I don't need a name. You want fame, you want a claim to fame, you want a name. What isn't a name? What does your presence mean to you? What's growing inside of you is part of you. You can be both. It's the duality. If you found yourself here today, you've graduated. You understand. Whenever you watch this, you'll understand your plan. We release you. How do you feel about that? Because now the only one that's holding you hostage is you. Where? Why? Get to the root. You've got time now. We have months before the year of the horse comes in. Work with snake magic and medicine. Release and shed the old skin. You'll do it in your own divine timing, and not a second before. Release guilt and shame. It's just a silly old blame game that was created for a purpose, but now let it subside. Why do you think Lula cried? Why do you think all of us have trouble letting go? I say us because we are ancestors, blood and bone. You hear and feel the wind. Change isn't a coming. Change. It begins. Now, today. With awareness of yesterday. And understanding that each day really is a gift. And you have purpose. And you have a path and you have a plan. Don't rush it. Don't try to control it. Call on us, we'll help you navigate it. Now let's get into the cards. Alright. Wow, I guess I never realized how much I do fight them. Holy shit. It's not that I don't mind them taking over my body or my mind or any of it. It's understanding that I'm part of the fabric. So some things were already programmed into me, into my storyline, into my subconscious, for me to go about my daily life and do readings and things like that. But when I channel the ancestors through me, and there were many, it's a different energy field. And it could be really draining. But that's interesting because when I saw that coyote earlier, I realized, I'm like, the trickster. I thought, oh, I am going to have Tuesday set aside. Oh, it was set aside all right, but it wasn't for what I thought. I wanted to do readings yesterday on Moon Day, my mom's birthday. I wanted to do something really magical. Didn't go down that way. So right now, all I can tell you is please go with the flow. Please let yourself cry. Please allow yourself to feel. There's a outdated outgrowth energy that's happening. That's why I was crying to Alder. That's why I cried on the podcast and got upset when I was, making tofu for my tomato soup, and I did one of these. I feel like I've never felt more human before, and also I've never felt more angelic before. Oh, they're all of the Metatron, as above, so below, all the way around. Thank you all for being here. You are welcome here with grace and gratitude. Thank you for coming into this home today. We love you so much. They're looking out for us. Even when we don't call them in, they're here. It's more of a recognition. Oh, I just got the chills. It's more of a recognition, just like saying like, hey, wow, I know you're here. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, spirit animals. Thank you, coyote. I feel like I want to do something and expound more with the coyote. They'll probably have me do like a little shorts or something. But I have never felt such change happening within me and without, and I feel like this rebirth is coming, but I don't know how to explain it. And it's winding up, and I feel like in this World Series and then the craziest part is when I was doing readings at this fundraiser on Friday, it was part of the world's, the games that were leading up to the World Series, you know what I mean? Like who's going to make it to the World Series kind of thing. And it was so intense, and I live in Washington, and it was the Seattle Mariners, and they won, and it was just so fucking crazy. And then I was like, is that what I thought? You know what I mean? Is that what it would that look like I always use, do you ever do the Prince, I would die for you, darling, if you want me to. Interesting. I don't know where that came from. That's for somebody, I guess, or us. I don't know. This is a group reading. That's really interesting because it just took me completely down another, almost like I was telling you one thing and I got kicked out of that room and put somewhere completely different. But another pin we'll be putting in that. But anyway, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. So let's just keep sending good energy out there. And let's see what the archetype deck has to say to us. I got the chills. I haven't even opened it up and I got the chills. And if you guys aren't familiar with this, Kim Kranz is one of my spirit animals for sure. I mean, the coyote is the trickster. So I don't know. I mean, there's so many things about the coyote. I mean, it would take me 2 seconds to grab my book. It's right there and they're not having me grab it. So let me see. Do you want me to do something separate for the coyote? Okay, that's what I thought. That's my yes. Okay, that's what I thought, because I was like, but there's no way, you know what I mean? I could have had my back turned. They ran through so fast that if I was going to the bathroom, if I was cooking, if I was doing dishes, I wouldn't have even seen them. But I just happened to turn around and I was standing up and there's trees and, they're all losing their leaves now. So I saw them and I was like, holy shit. I'm like, that's so wild. That's so wild. Okay, so we are going to ask Spirit if they have any advice for us right now. I mean, it's really intense. Also, the second I saw ceasefire and saw flags and people hugging each other and hostages released all within these headlines, I was like, oh my gosh, I got so excited. And Spirit was like, no. I'm like, what? So I don't know why I'm not meant to look at that right now, but let's just send it beautiful, loving energy. I pray that this is true and that it's all happening and all is well, because honestly, I don't know why they wouldn't want me to celebrate that or talk about that now, but either way, let's just send it good energy and congratulations, and love and light. Okay, do we have any messages for the collective right now, Spirit? We just, third quarter moon energy is transition and forgiveness, but also that was yesterday. Right now, we are in the waning crescent, like we are about to go into the new moon, but in this energy, it's rest and restore. So I feel as if they want us to forgive, transition out of like whatever it was that we need to let go of, or whatever we went through that dark cycle, that dark shadow. Transition, forgive it, let it go. Because honestly, that's what it felt like yesterday. I felt like I was not like telling him I was letting him go, letting go. I was just like, I forgive it. You know what I mean? I'm like, the past is the past. And like, I'm like, we're either moving forward or we're not. And I said, so that's interesting. So I don't know what happened with you guys. Did you have any big conversations with anybody on Monday? And it wasn't orchestrated. Like, it happened so fucking naturally. And I really didn't want to talk to him because I was feeling so emotional. I could feel that I'd been crying. I've been like, something inside of me like shifted and changed Friday night. And it wasn't just like I brought a bunch of people's shit home. You know what I mean? Like, I've been airing stuff out. Like, I washed all the crystals and everything that we did. The books, no, they were like, don't worry about it. You don't need to do that. Because they didn't really touch a lot, because I was like, certain people were touching cards, and I was like, sometimes their residual energy, and they're like, no, they're like, it's all good. Like, you are so good. I'm like, okay. But it needed to come out. Like it needed, and every, don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is I never left you all through my wild days, my mad existence. I kept my promise. Don't keep your distance. Something like that, right? And there's a part where she's like, have I said too much? She's like, I don't know if you're really hearing me. She's like, because every word is true. And that's what it was. It was just like, it just like came out yesterday, and how he received it, I hope, was in the way for both of us, in a loving and receptive way. But it was also kind of like, if you're not my person, like if this really is done, if we are really, really over, I'm like, then so be it. You know what I mean? Like, I won't keep fighting if you don't want me to. And, I feel like so much of Alder and I is wrapped up in our family's shit, which is why I believe we, as twin flames, like, our lives are so parallel in so many ways. They're so different in so many ways, and so exactly the same in other ways. But meaning, like, the healing process is very deep and it's very intense, and not a lot of people can handle that. Not a lot of people can go through the kind of deep rooted emotional and emotionally draining hardcore, like, not many people can do that and come out the other side of it still smiling and still like, and even with myself, I think that's what it was yesterday, is I was just like, dude, like, I'm exhausted. I'm like, I'm so tired. Like, I was like, I'm so tired. And we've gone through this before, light workers, where I'll say they have to invent a new word for the meaning of how tired I am. But no, this is so different, and on a different level, and a different way. And I feel as if the forgiveness and the transition is the part that's the hardest. It's why it's the 7th and not the 8th moon phase, because 7s are all about, you know, cycles. So is there any, like, what came up for you when I was having my own epiphanies? Are there any messages in this group right now? Okay. Are there any messages in this group right now for us, Spirit, in any way to go with what we're thinking, feeling, the transition and forgiveness, and the rest and restore energy? Are there any words of wisdom for us today? I'm like, oh, she's in here. I'm like, here he is. Oh, of course. The mystic. The mystic. Oh my gosh, look at this cute little easel that Anna painted. It goes with the little moon that she gifted me to, little, or us, the poem. The poem. What was that? Who's that for? Also, it's number 21, which is the number 3. But I'll put it here. The mystic. So you know what it's saying, but I almost feel like, I don't think I can go any closer. So let's get into the book. 21, the mystic. I'm looking at so many different things, right? Like so many things are like coming past me. The healer, the pilgrim, the animal, the mystic, the seeker, the light worker, the dreamer. I was talking about my dreams last night. The mystic is often misunderstood in our culture, depicted as a wandering or light-hearted daydreamer. Yet, like Shiva, the true mystic plays a critical role in society, remaining fearlessly dedicated to the path of transformation. What? That's why I love, I mean, we haven't done one of these in a while, but that's when I love this, whenever 2 or more gather, you know, it's like, because whether you're here with me, you know, whenever you watch this, like, we're together. Like, I feel you here with me. And whoever's meant to be here is meant to be here. I love it. Thank you for being here. But I mean, we talk about transition and forgiveness. I mean, transformation, transition. In order to save the earth from darkness, Shiva, however you like to say it, swallows the poison of the world and holds it in his throat, slowly transmuting the liquid into nectar. This is the work of the mystic. They do not fear darkness, but rather sit in the presence of it, harness the potential and latent energy behind it, and embedded it with light. They are patient and prudent change makers, seeking growth above all else. Unanswerable questions are the mystic's lifeblood. The mystic revels in mystery, in the great riddle of life, dancing with the forces of light and dark upon its wings. You know, I feel like we need to have another awesome thing that Anna gave the tribe. I'm like, this needs some candle action. Look at that. We are illuminated. I'm telling you guys, when we come out of this shadow, now there's always shadow after the shadow. You know what I mean? It takes time to kind of linger out of here, but I promise you, by the end of November, we're going to feel like not our old selves again. We're going to feel like a new version of ourselves. It's just right now we're in the gook and the gunk at the end. We're at the, you know, we're squeezing the end of that toothpaste out. You know, we've used this analogy before, but that's really where we are. We're going to have such a magical holiday season. I mean, we still are, but there's still some stuff. You know what I mean? There's still some stuff there. So when we are in light, meaning like when we are connected to our light, we are remover of darkness, visionaries, and ageless. But when we're in shadow, right, when we're in dark, we expect results, instant gratification, right, which is connected to the ego, seeking attention and recognition. Wow. If you want to go deeper, they have Zen something poetry. I don't want to start the book on fire, but if you guys can see in there, If it's not meant to, ask and I'll post something. Or if they call me to, I'll put I'll take a picture of it and I'll put it in the community section. Feel free to post in there as well if you are a tribe member. If you want to post anything uplifting. Thank you, Anna. I think Jessica might have posted there once. If anybody else has posted there, I haven't seen it, but thank you. Okay, so it says, it may seem that the mystic is inward facing, yet its light beams back to the world with the strength of 1,000 stars. Like any light worker, the mystic must build a relationship with fire. This begins by awakening the inner flame, or as they call it, the tapas within. Speaking of tapas, you know, tapping helps get connected to your body too. Look up tapping if you've never worked with it, okay? So that's really interesting. Yeah, and I'm so much fire. So for some of you, maybe you're not connected to it, but that's like where your creativity lies and where they want you to work and like what they want you to work with. Let's see, do we have any more messages for the tribe right now, Spirit? Was that trying to come out? Okay. Do we have any more messages for the tribe right now? Ooh, this one kind of like almost like clung to me. I love this one. Number 23, the Destroyer. I kind of want to put those on top of each other so you can see them together. Look at those eyes. And look at how in the mystic is looking through their third eye. Okay, so follow this with me. I feel like this is interesting. I feel like they're trying to show us that it's the third, like even with the coyote coming by today, like that looks like an animal. It looks like a wolf. To me, that looks like a wolf in here, right? And the wolf is protecting their light, like they're protecting their light fiercely, but they know how to balance the light and the shadow. That's why you see the lights breaking through. But the energy that oh my gosh, you guys, and I swear to you on all that is holy, out of nowhere, I just got really hot, like really, really hot. Like, I feel like my whole body is like on fire. It is like the craziest. And I know like the sun is moving over here, but hold on, I'm going to turn the heater. I'm going to turn the heater down, which is good too, because I don't like to leave the heater on all day. Oh, that was my ankle cracking. But what I was saying, and follow me here, is I think it's interesting that this, like the mystic goes by their third eye, right? But the Destroyer is using their human eyes. And I feel like they're saying you need to look through the eyes of, and this is for all of us, we need to look through the eye of the mystic, not the Destroyer, which is why the coyote ran by today, because every time I'm like ready to like fully like pull away from Alder, like Twilight something will come on, or like yesterday he came by here and I just rewatched the whole Twilight series after like I had all these like crazy experiences Friday night at the Witches Walk fundraiser. I ended up not going to the parade if you didn't watch the other ones, and it was like it was rainy and cold all Saturday and Sunday, and I just binge watched Twilight because I have YouTube, no ads. I pay for no ads, so it was free, and I just like literally binge watched Twilight. And Alder and I, you know, have such a strong Twilight connection, and it's like 1 minute I feel like I'm really connected to him, the next minute I'm like, dude, like why can't I just see that it's over? And then like every time I'm resigned to like be like it's over, I'm, you know, I'm okay with that, blah blah blah, then it's like he shows up yesterday and it's this song from Twilight, my song, my you know, I might as well be a jukebox on my phone, right? Like it's on shuffle. I'm not controlling it, I'm not whatever, I was doing my own thing, and all of a sudden I heard the music. I know the music very well, and I looked down because I was like, it was a cover that I wasn't familiar with, and it said something like Edward by Bella's bedside or something. And when I met Alder, he was Edward, and then he became Alder. And so it was just like kind of like I was Kelly and I became Tallulah. And so, you know, Edward kind of had his, like, he was always a vampire, right? But like there was like kind of two sides to him. You know, like he had his very loving, gentle side, but he also had the monster that is gonna, you know, go and hunt and drink blood. And it was just like, I was having like all these like weird moments yesterday, and I was like, what the fucking fuck, you know? and thinking of like monsters and werewolves and you know what I mean, like all that. And then to have the coyote come by today, it was kind of the same thing. I was getting ready to message, my landlord and be like, hey, I'm going to work on the lawn today. Alder's going to do the other property sometime this week. And then I just kept hearing no. And then they were like, I know. I was like, do you want me to do readings? I'm like, I'm so confused. And it was just like, I started like beating myself up, like, no, I'm going to do it today. I said I was going to do it today. I'm going to do it today. Spirit's like, what if there was a freak rainstorm? You wouldn't be able to do it today. And then like the wind started to kick up and I was like, okay. And then it started to get really cold. And I swear it was like seeing that coyote, it was like everything of all the last several days just like came together. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, what is happening? So I feel like in this kind of energy, we can't really make any like serious decisions or, and I feel like for all of us, I don't feel like we'll be making any real big decisions until next year, and that's when the horse will come in, the year of freedom. So give yourself time whenever you watch this, whichever hemisphere you're in, but give yourself time over, if you're in real time, like definitely, like we're mid-October. So from now until February, when the horse comes in, I believe it's February 17th, just allow each day, just chisel a little bit more at letting go of your past life, all past lives, like this is the life to reclaim your divinity. This is the life to work through these with your ancestors. If you are an ancestral lineage breaker, which if you're here, I feel like you are, then allow, when I looked up, it was 10144. So work with angel number 1144, or maybe you keep seeing 1144 on the clock. This is definitely your message, like that's a wink wink from the ancestors that are like, yeah, it's time, you guys. Like, it's like they've been giving us time. They knew, they understand, they know that it takes the human mind and understanding much longer to understand an ascension. When I was at the fundraiser and like hanging around with Alder, like the reason why I've been crying and like haven't been wanting to do readings or really do much of anything is because I just started to feel this immense, like, I don't know where I fit in. I don't know who I am. Like I've always joked that I felt like someday I would end up just like getting up and like, going and walking like with a backpack, whatever spirit has me bring, and then like, and never looking back, like just like, and I don't know if that's something that I've done in a past life or Alder has done something incredibly similar to that. When he was younger, he did something like that. He went on a walkabout. He just wanted to leave his life. He just wanted, and he didn't, I don't remember exactly if it wasn't about the money or whatever, but I feel like someday he should write a book about it or tell the story. But he walked from Bellevue, Washington, which is like basically the border of Canada. He walked from the border of Canada all the way down. He walked and hitchhiked all the way down to Oregon over weeks, and like, slept under, bridges and like the whole thing. Like he can tell you some really interesting stories of like things that he's done in his own little like walkabout. I did something very similar, but I did it in my Jeep. I did it by myself, like driving cross country. And I remember I've done it a few times now where like my family are just like terrified, they're just like, you're a young woman by yourself. And I was like, I just feel like it's something I have to do. And I remember when I was moving back from LA to Chicago for the second time, I was like, no, I'm driving. I'm like, I need to do this for me. And it was one of the most profound experiences of my life. And one of the first times that I really saw something, like I saw like I saw a Native American chief like up on this rock when I was driving through New Mexico. And there's no way he could have gotten up there unless like there was a ladder of some kind, or if he was a really good hiker or like rock climber. But like now looking back on it, the sun was coming up because he kind of like looked at me and then he kind of like pointed, and I like was like, oh, and the sun was coming up like over the horizon, and it was really powerful. So sometimes I've had different moments at different times in my life where I didn't realize at the time what was happening or what I was going through. but I know that I just keep shedding and shedding and shedding, and I feel like we are all going through a massive shedding right now. So allow it to go through, allow it to take place, allow things to leave you. And it may be people, places, and things. Like, that's what it was. It was kind of like yesterday, I was like, I love you, but like, I don't want to go in, you know, in these patterns. I don't want to be talked to that way. I don't want to be treated that way. I won't, you know what I mean? I'm like, something has to change. One of us has to go, or one of us has to make a significant change. I'm like, I just want you to think about it, what it would be like to really leave each other for good, because I don't see me coming back. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, like, in my experience, now that may change. This is a different energy field. The fifth dimensional energy is different. It's not as dramatic as the 3D, you know? So we may come back around, but whatever it is, like, I feel like whatever it is, like, I'm being pulled somewhere else. And it seems that whenever I start to get really comfortable, or I start to fall in love with an area, that's when I get the, like, don't get too cozy. And I think that's why I was also really sad about Friday night, because I thought I found another cool, like, community, which I did, but like, I thought like this was going to be my place. And I don't know if I'll ever have that in this lifetime. And maybe that's why I'm so in love with Cassie Nightingale, because like, I'm like, well, Cassie got to stay in Middleton. Don't I have a Middleton somewhere? Where's my Middleton? Where's my Victorian that was left to me by some, you know, relative? What magical town am I supposed to bring back to life and breathe back life into, you know what I mean? Like a balloon, and have it like be joyful. I don't know. That looked really wrong on a lot of levels. But anyway, maybe you're asking yourself the same things. And maybe the mystic is trying to show us that we have to see past the destroyer. I don't know if they want me to keep it on there or not. We have to see past the destroyer, because the destroyer is not the friend we want them to be. Oh yeah. I love when I'm really pretty. Hold on. I just realized, I'm like, look at Anna, always providing. They said, you know, it's the destroyer, you know, it's the mystic. But that's interesting, the way they had me place them there. So let's see what the destroyer has to say. Also, let's drink some water. We haven't done one of these in a while, like a little marathon. Like, it kind of feels like a marathon, you know? Like, we're doing a lot of things at once, especially for myself, because I'm physically channeling. You know, it's interesting. Well, I guess I'll see what Spirit says. I'll see how I feel tomorrow. The destroyer, the savage, the unexpected, the rejected. The destroyer, the final of the three archetypes in the trio of existence, has necessary yet painful work to do in the world. Culturally, we have an aversion to endings, and we hang on to permanence as a signifier of success. I can say so many things about this, being born in 1971 and my parents telling me to get a real job. Why do I keep going from job to job? But I digress. Yet the destroyer pulls the rug out from underneath relationships, jobs, homes, and all forms of security. I mean, come on. It's the part of us that wants things to end. And that's in red, right? Right? Because truthfully, we do. Like, we're like, I'm tired of this. I woke up this morning, it was so fucking cold in here, and I was like, this needs to like all come together or whatever, or like I need to be somewhere else, or we need to get more extension cords and we have another heater. I'm like, or we need to buy, I'm like, because it was so fucking cold in here. I was like, oh no, because we took all the walls out and the furniture, and like we're like in between like this metal shed, and and the air comes like right through there. So it's just like metal on metal. We had to tear out like part of the wall because of like mold and stuff, you know? So it's basically, it's covered with a board and like a panel, you know, a drape panel, but I mean, come on. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. And I also need to get thicker curtains, more rugs. I need a lot of stuff. So anyway, I digress. So here we go. Speaking of rugs, the destroyer pulls the rug out from underneath relationships, jobs, homes, and all forms of security. It's the part of us that wants things to end. And I heard, and change. It's painful, right? Its painful orientation is to uncover our true purpose. The destroyer does not let us linger long in comforts, as it knows not much happiness in that realm. With its piercing eyes, they want me to read that again. The destroyer does not let us linger long in comforts, as it knows not much happiness in that realm. With its piercing eyes, it seeks out stagnancy from a distance, and the rest becomes history. In the old myths, this is the moment when heads begin to roll, the ground opens up, and castles crumble. Hold on for the ride, for the destroyer has arrived. What? Fuck! Oh, I feel like that's going to be a shorts or something. So when we are in light, swift, I love it. Swift and precise blows that redirect our life, right? When we're in light, we're in flow, and we're like, okay, where do you want me to go? What do you want me to do? What needs to happen next? But when we're in shadow, we're in self-destruction, we're in negativity, unwillingness to rebuild, right? We're the savage, the unexpected, the rejected. What was I saying earlier? What, you know, how come I can't live here? Why don't I fit in? Why can't I be? I see these community people, they all know each other. Some of them have known each other since their childhood. And what is up with that? I'm like, what is up for that longing? What is up for that longing? I'm like, why do I miss it? Why, Buddha? Why? I worked with Buddha earlier today. Thank you, Buddha. And that's some mugwort, which has really been helping with my dream state. Ugh, it's just been so much. Feel free to share your story if you want to. So in old tales, the destroyer sometimes appears as a black dog. Other times it takes the form of gods and goddesses such as Shiva, which we just spoke of, Kali, and Apophis, Apophis. So, you know, I mean, I feel like my gut tells me that Alder and I are like this amazing, awesome, like beautiful love story that like people will write like movies and stories and books about. And then there's another part of me that's like, hey, delusional girl, can you go back to, exactly, I said girl, not woman. Can you, right? Can you like let this go and move forward? And so, or is it both? Is it both? Am I being called away? And this really will be like his home, his place. And I don't know where I'm meant to go or where I'm meant to be, but maybe it's not here. I don't know. But I do know that I felt this sadness yesterday. Like after he left, I was like the crying emoji with like, I mean, it was like I couldn't stop. I ended up recording some more videos for Lulu's Labyrinth, some lip sync light worker, because I feel like, you know, people need them. They need to feel right now. We've been trained not to feel or connect with each other. And when they asked me to do this today, I was like, okay, cool. You want me to get ready? You know, blah, blah, blah. They're like, no, just be in your jams. Just be you. Just start. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to, you know, it doesn't have to be whatever. It is what it is. It's meant to be what it's meant to be. They're like, let it be what it's meant to be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. So the last part is, consider Picasso's statement, in quotes, every act of creation is first of all an act of destruction. Yes, right? If you're a sculptor and you use clay, you have to get the slab of clay. And when it comes to you, I've worked with clay before, it's in a nice perfect package, but you have to pound the clay and work with the clay and get it so it's malleable, so that you can make it and mold it into the shape that you want to, sometimes you have to get the heat from your hands. For some of us, maybe that's what they're trying to tell us. We need to get in there, get our hands in there. Alder and I, we were trying so hard to have these adventures and spend time together, and then things just weren't we've just been going through so much on our own. But I realized yesterday, I think I cried that hard because I could talk a big game, but somewhere inside of me, no matter what he's done, I know I really can forgive it and let it go. I am in love with him. My heart tells me true. But there's this but that right now, so many things are coming in and out. I honestly am not fighting the fact that it's over either, because I can see that as well. We are on different paths and different trajectory. And for 10 years, we have been helping each other. It's been a beautiful dance. But I love myself, and I love helping people, and I love staying on a high vibration, and I just won't put myself anymore in a situation with someone who's going to treat me a certain way. I won't do it. I won't let him bully me. I won't let him talk to me like that. And so however we're meant to move forward is however we're meant to move forward. And I believe in magic and miracles, and no matter what the outcome, I will never feel shame or harbor any, resentment or anything, because I know that I'll still be exactly where I was supposed to be. And then there will be someone for me, or maybe I will walk alone for the rest of this life. I don't know. And maybe that's what I'm fighting. I don't know. I feel like I'm such a loving light being, and I'm such a ray of sunshine. I can't imagine that I'm created to be, stowed away in some monastery somewhere. But I don't know. Maybe I've been living a different life and a different person. And I think that's the beauty of it right now, is the unknowing and releasing and just letting go of I'm so happy Spirit changed my name to Tallulah Wren. I mean, it's interesting. When I first became Tallulah, it was really hard introducing myself because it wasn't a common name. It's becoming more common, again, it's been common in the past, but then it kind of fell to the wayside, whatever. But anyway, the interesting thing is, lately, especially Friday, when I was introducing myself to people, when they asked me my name, some of them I fully said Tallulah Wren. Others I was just like Tallulah, or Lula or Lou. I'm like, whatever, I'm like, people call me different things or whatever. But it was weird. My name was not flowing off my tongue the way it has. And so I don't know what's gonna happen or what's gonna change. And maybe I'm starting to understand Prince more and more, why he became an insignia and not a specific name, because I'm like, what is a name? You start to question everything. I don't know, does it matter? Does it, what does it mean? I don't know. So ask yourself, while you're coming out of this transition, I'm sure they're gonna have me do something for the new moon, because I'm really feeling that right now. I feel like over the next week, it kind of makes sense that I'm doing this now, and then I'll take care of the lawn tomorrow, and then I feel like until the new moon, it's just gonna be kind of casual, you know what I mean? Just kind of taking it easy, take it one breath, one moment, one step at a time, for real, because this is unprecedented. This is unruly waters. This isn't anything that we're used to. And Libra and Scorpio, the way that this is coming in like this, it's going to be very interesting. Wind and water can be very beautiful together, or it can be very fierce. Lots of waves, a lot of tumultuous energy. So let's see if we have any more messages from Spirit in any way, shape, or form. I was going to say that kind of felt like it fell apart, and this feels like this wants to go here. Okay, Spirit. Do we have any more messages for the collective? Do we have any more messages for anybody or anything? I feel like there's one in here. I was going to say they wouldn't have me keep shuffling if they didn't. So, what the fuck? The cave. Oh, we're talking about all this darkness, but can I tell you, when I saw it upside down, I thought they were teeth. I thought it was another animal card. I couldn't see it right away. I don't have my glasses on. But look at that. Also, you know what's interesting, you guys? I love how, like, the mystic is like the light and the shadow, like, and the destroyer is there's a light in the shadow, and the same here. It's like the hands, and like up here, it's like as above, so below. It could even be that for some of you, like, you may be hands-on healers, Reiki healers, but also the cave. A friend of mine was like, oh, this thing happened, that happened, blah, blah, blah. They're like, so I'm not going to be around for a while. And I was like, you know, I'm like, did you ever think that, like, maybe that's exactly where Spirit wants you to be? To, like, go into, like, you know, so I feel like this is a message for all of us. What's the number? Oh, it's 32, which is also the number 5, change and transformation. And this one's 23, which is also the number 5. And then this one's 21, which is a 3. Oh, 13. Oh, I believe, unless I got too excited and added wrong. But so I feel like there's going to be a lot of disillusionment. Yeah, there's going to be some serious shit that's about to... I have seen things in the past, and I thought they were connected to other people, but just now I saw something that was with something else about something else, and I don't mean to be cryptic, but I promise you I will... What is this? 122.04, and then it went to 5. Like, right when I looked, it was 4 and went to 5. I promise 122.05 that if for some reason it comes to fruition, Spirit will have me reference this video and right now, and I will explain it to you. But right now I'm doing my best to bring the light in, but the shadow has to play its role too. So I don't want to say too much, but let's get into this. The cave, the mystic. We'll put the eyes over here and the wing of the mystic there and the hands in the middle. Because honestly, this eye is kind of like almost covered up anyway. So it's like we're having, oh, it's like 2 eyes and then like a 3rd eye. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get to this. Holy crap, this is so good. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, I mean, I said to Alder yesterday, I mean, why I cried so hard and why I think I've been crying is like, I do, like, obviously you guys were connected, and I know I can call, especially so many of you, my all-stars, like, I know I can call you. I know that you would be there for me. But what I'm saying is, like, it's like, if Alder and I aren't, then I'm like, okay, then that's really what that is and whatever. And maybe I'm seeing a part of him that's in this lifetime, but in a different place, and it's not with me. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so many facets. But that's why I was crying so hard yesterday, because if he really believes that, then that's part of it too. You know what I mean? Like, I can't force him to see us or see me, you know, the way I see us and see me. I can't, you know, I can try, I can do my best. I mean, I've given him all these different things, and I was like, did you read that yet? No. Did you look at that yet? No. Did you watch that? No. I mean, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't, you know what I mean? So my hope and prayer and what I am holding on to is that once we come out of this and going into the horse, I'm praying that he will release that shadow too, and he'll release that part of him, and he'll regain his freedom of not being tethered to this old energy, these old patterns, this old part of him that doesn't exist. So with that being said, the cave, the dark, the portal, the interior, those who are fortunate enough to find and enter the cave are forever changed. It is a place of potent power acting both as portal to another realm and a space for sacred ritual and initiation. The cave is a place to return for meaningful retreat where one can see the true self in the darkness. In esoteric teachings, the cave is known to reside in the center of the heart. Within its walls, the whispers of compassion and self-understanding can be heard. Yet because of its mystery and power, many of us fear the cave and never try to find it. We busy ourselves in the bright lights of the city while the cavernous and dimly lit chamber calls out to us in the night. Where is your cave? You already know, so return to it and tend the fire. The last card talked about the fire and restoking the fire. So this could be for some of you, like maybe it's the creativity, maybe it's a connection, yeah, like this is so beautiful and intense. It's the same for me. I think that's why I cried so hard yesterday, because there's a part of me that really genuinely believes he's not coming back. And so I need to release and let her go so that whatever could possibly begin again with him, it's like both of us will have to release that old side of us. I can't control it. I can't make it happen. I can't, even now, like sharing our story, I mean, he held space yesterday. Like everything about him yesterday felt old and beautiful and wise. And there was no anger. He was very kind. He was, and maybe because Friday night I said to him, please don't talk to me like this anymore. Like it's just like, it really hurts my heart. And it's hard, So he was very kind yesterday. And I definitely felt like it was interesting because the sun was out, but he was facing me and he kept squinting. And we always joke that one of his eyes is his light and one of his eyes is his shadow, because literally one of his eyes is much darker than his other eye. However, I just thought that was like a birth thing. And then I started to notice over the years that his right eye would get darker. The darker he was, the darker it would get dark brown. And the other one would stay like this kind of like hazel, when the other one would start to go dark, that's when I'd get really like, whoa. But it was interesting because when he was squinting, like I was the one the sun was on and he was squinting, but I realized that he kept squinting the dark eye and it was the light eye that was like giving me space. I just had that epiphany right now. It's like, so I feel like we're all in the cave right now. Like he's in the cave. And I do hold hope, because I guess what I was saying to him yesterday is like, if you and I aren't meant to be together, then like, I don't know anymore. Like, I don't know anything anymore. Like that community, like that made me sad. Like, cause I got the vibe, like I don't belong here, even though they welcomed me and I felt welcome with them and I felt like myself with them. And I spoke about that and the podcast and everything. Like I had a really good time. I loved everybody I met. Like, it was all magic. But again, I just felt like this isn't it. That's not it. This isn't it. You know what I mean? And I just have moved 30 plus times and lived in 5 states and traveled over, 3 continents, like, to try and understand islands, you know what I mean? Like just trying to figure things out. And so the only thing that has ever felt real to me and ever felt solid and like home was Alder and Bubba. And now that Bubba's gone, even though she's here with us, you know what I mean? It's like, I felt Alder yesterday. I felt us yesterday. Like I felt like I could normally just like crawl into his arms. And I said, that is just what's throwing me and making me feel so crazy. So when I was sad earlier, I was thinking about that. And like, I was thinking about so many things all at once. And then when the coyote came by, it's like, then this song came on, because More to Lose came on from Miley Cyrus, and I started like bawling my eyes out. And if they call me to, I'll put a link in the description box. But she's such a phenomenal artist. I mean, she's just such a phenomenal artist, and that song is so beautiful. And the way her fragility in it is, and the words are like, I just thought we had more to lose, and that's kind of like, that's what I said to him yesterday through tears. I was like, if we're not meant to be together, if this is done, if we're really done, I'm like, then, I'm sad, but then also I welcome something even more magnificent and magical. But a part of me is just like, I will be flabbergasted, right? Because I'm like, I just feel like we have way more to lose by breaking up than to gain if we pull apart. So it was just really powerful. And so I'm listening to that, and I'm like, oh, is that what you're saying? Because I was like, I'm saying to Spirit, like, just, sometimes I'm like, is there anything you want to say to me through music right now? And then I'm like bawling my eyes out. And then the next song is like, we can save this love. And I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck? That's kind of how this all started. Because I was like the coyote, and I was just like, what are you saying? I'm like, what are you trying to say? So it was quite a head fuck, but also beautiful at the same time, because it made me realize that that's exactly what this energy is right now. Like, there are going to be people, places, and things where we're going to be like, I thought we had more to lose. Like, I thought there was, and they're like, no, you don't even know what's on the other side of this. Let this go. Because no matter what's happening, there's definitely an ending and a death with he and I, because this is, I mean, I'm really starting to feel it, like that we haven't slept next to each other in almost a year and a half. That's a really long time, almost 13 months. Anyway, so when we are in light, we are the sacred center within. But when we're in shadow, we withdraw, we isolate ourselves, and we hide. So to go deeper, I'll put screenshots of these if they want me. I'll take pictures of these and put them in the community section. Because they're like, no, not right now. I'm like, okay. So this says, to go deeper, envision yourself as an old sage in a cave. Okay, so if it's safe to do so, I have to read, but for you, take in a few deep breaths, drink some water, and then I want you to close your eyes while Spirit is bringing this to you, okay? Because this is just my story, but insert your story here. It could be so many things for you. Okay, so close your eyes. Envision yourself as an old sage in a cave. So an old sage means like a healer, a medicine, man, woman, whatever you identify with, somebody, an old spiritual ancestor. Envision yourself as an old sage in a cave. What amenities do you need? What draws you ever closer to the cave within the cave? What amenities do you need? Like, what was the first thing that came to your mind? Like, what would you need? If you were going to go, let's just say for the winter, you were going to go in a cave for the winter, what would you take with you? And what do you really need? I mean, how many times have we all done this? Like, we pack for a trip, and when you're unpacking, when you come home, you're like, I never even used that. I never even left my suitcase. You know what I mean? However, for some reason, you felt pulled to bring it. I use my pendulum when I pack. There has been times where I'm like, why did this come with? And it's like, because it was meant to come with, for whatever reason. It was meant to come with, to bring the energy, grab the energy. There's, it's like Spirit saying, don't question it. But what do you need? Not what you want, but what do you need, right? Like, we need water, we need food, we need something for fire to keep us warm. Maybe you want to bring some things to read, right? You won't have electricity, can't have your phone in a cave. Like, really think about it. And maybe that's what they're trying to get you to do. Put out a mass bulletin to your people. I'm turning my phone off for 3 days. I'm taking a vacation. If there's anybody that lives by your house or goes by your house or whatever, let them know I'm in a staycation. So don't be alarmed if you see me home. I'm staying home, but I'm, maybe tell yourself you don't have technology, or you put your phone away. Maybe you like to, like for myself, I love movies. For me, movies are the same as if somebody gave somebody who loves books a stack of 10 books and they're like, have at it, have a happy vacation. You know what I mean? You want to reread the whole Harry Potter series, It's kind of like what I did. I rewatched all the Twilight movies, but it brought me to so many different places and in so many different ways. I mean, not only do I have the Edward connection with his real name being Edward, but this is a true fucking story. literally my partner's mother, her house, he didn't grow up there. They bought it like later, but he did live there, you know, for some period of time. The house that his mom lived in was literally on the same street as Bella's house, which wasn't in Forks. It was in St. Helens, Oregon. And they had, it was on 6th Street. And so one of them was east and one of them was west. So they were almost at the same address, but on the different, when I saw that it was there, I'm like, I knew it was somewhere in that area, but I had no idea it was going to be on her same street. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, I can literally walk there. It was crazy. And there's like a stream that runs in between. So like, if like Bella and I, like if I grew up on that street, like we'd probably have to like jump the stream or go around to the bridge, you know, depending on the time of year when it was, you know, higher. But it was like that kind of thing where I'm like, this is crazy. There was that too. And then like just coming up to the peninsula, being in Forks and finding out, you know, meeting this lady who was like one of the, you know, her family was the first white family up here and got to know the tribes. And I mean, just crazy, crazy shit. You know what I mean? Where you're just like, what the fuck? So we've always had this thing with Twilight and we've had this connection with it and the music and, you know, like sometimes I would be thinking about him and I'd look on my phone and it would be 11:11, which was always our thing when we got together. And then I'd be thinking of him, it'd be 11:11, and as I'm looking at my phone, a Twilight song would come on, like just crazy. So I mean, I've had connections like that with so many people over my lifetime, but not like the way we are. I mean, so if that connection is not, if that's going to be done, I mean, I had a connection like that with Bear, I almost married Bear, same thing, my ex that lives in Colorado that I talk about. So that's why this one is so, I never ever thought that Bear and I would break up ever. And when Bear came to me and told me that he loved me and wanted to spend his life with me and got his inheritance after his mom, he wanted to tell me his mom passed, and then he's like, I inherited, you know, it was a really big chunk of money. We could have moved anywhere, started, you know, a new life together. And I was like, no. And I'd only been with Alder for like a year and a half. And I was like, no, I can't explain it. I have to be with this person. I don't know how to explain it. So this could be it. This could be the end of this chapter with him. So that's why this has been such a head fuck for me, because every day it's different. And sometimes it's like this all day. And it's crazy. And I've never experienced anything like this ever in my existence, ever. And the only thing I come to the conclusion of is that it's teaching both of us unconditional love. So either that's what we'll, you know, come away from this, because Bear and I, as much as like we talked about getting back together in the last few months, we both know like we love that we are still friends. We love that we still have this connection. And he's like, I'm not ready. He's like, you're light years ahead of me, basically, is what we, you know, came to the conclusion of. He's like, you know, I'm going to get there, but like, I need to do this right now. And that told me just how he's not really light years ahead of me. He's actually closer than he realizes, but he's where he needs to be. And I don't know what that means either. Do you know what I mean? So all I know is that right now we are being tested on multiple levels, because I keep trying to pull myself away from everybody and just focus on myself. Cause I'm like, oh, I just want to focus on me. I don't need to worry about everybody else. Everything's fine. And then they pull me back into the cave and they're like, nope. Like, so some of us, we're in a waiting period right now. And maybe that's why they're showing the hands, because they're like, do something with your hands, get creative, build something, you know, volunteer, go to a soup kitchen, you know what I mean? Volunteer, you know, I mean, I loved being a part of that fundraiser on Friday. I'm not going to lie. Like, I've gone through like the 7 stages of death with it, and it was so awesome in so many ways, but like, also it was just so eye-opening in so many ways for me, and just for me to understand certain things, and that where I'm at is, you know, so if you're feeling uncomfortable, most likely you're just in transition. You know, they said at the beginning of the reading, that's just where we are. So the last thing is, slowly and steadily, crystals of enormous magnitude grow within the dark confines of caves. Let the cave teach you patience. I was talking about this on Friday with people at the event, and I said, you know, my mom always said, don't pray for patience because God will show you what it means. So if you're trying to control, if you're feeling impatient, remember, we're in the waiting room, we're in the cave, but this is the time to use discernment. And this is the time to, you know, face those fears, face those shadows, face that darkness, face the destroyer, and say, you know what? You're not destroying me. Nothing's gonna destroy me, because I am the mystic. And when we emerge from the cave, we will really understand and see our power. But right now, we are at the precipice of a really big shift and a really, really big change. And I knew somebody was getting assassinated this year. I knew it. I saw it. I saw it a year ago. I just didn't, certain things I don't talk about. When Spirit tells me not to talk about it, I don't. But a lot of you know, I was getting a weird vibe about it. Oh, the mountain's on the bottom, but the crone is right here, which is 13. So the mystic, the crone. And there's a lot of crones in this tribe. And if you're not a crone, it's about working with the crone energy, like knowing that if you're 22, but you found yourself here, if you're 17, right, you're an ancestor. Like you came here for power, for magic. Number 33. Climb every mountain. Like, we are the mountain. We are inside the mountain. We are the, you know, we are the ones that are bringing the light and saying, you know, ain't no mountain high enough, right? Like, we can do this. We can do this. We can do this. Oh my gosh. These two like stuck together, but I want to see, because I feel like these may be for a picker reading. I was going to say, did you want me to pull any for a picker reading? Oh, they said we can show them. Okay, do you want to pull any more from this? Oops. They're saying, do you want to pull them? So this, we are going to look out for a picker reading that's going to be coming. They want me to wrap this up. This one is really sticking out to me, and so is this one. But let me see. Sometimes they have me do shorts. So like after I get off the, after I'm done with this, like they'll have me stop it and then they'll have me pull cards and do shorts. Sometimes it's the cards we used and sometimes it's not. So let me see, do we want to use, okay, all of these came out together. So these are going to be, they said you can see them, but we're going to go kind of quickly. So these are going to be the 4 readings: the animal, the box, Alethea, and the womb. The womb. Okay. That is, it's so funny because I always think of that as like, it kind of looks like pubic hair to me, but then it kind of looks like a nest, but today it looks like a fingerprint. So that's interesting. Okay, so these are going to be for a picker reading. Those flew over there, so we must not need them at all. Oh, the king, number 12. So the king and the crone. So they're kind of giving me like 12, 13. The divine masculine and the divine feminine. It's just all coming. It's all coming in. It's all coming together. Right now they're not having me read the book, but I feel like that's what they're trying to show us, that everything that's happening, it feels like it's falling apart, but it's actually falling into place. And I pray that that ceasefire that I saw was real and that it is going to stay. And, you know, I may not like certain things about some of these leaders, but if they did help in some way or use their influence to stop the war, then so be it. And I'm grateful for them. But, you know, I think that's why they keep talking about going to heaven, the sitting American president. A lot of people are saying, you know, he must be getting close if he's concerned about it. Okay, Spirit, do we have any more? Do we want to read from the book for either one of these right now? No, they're going to be in the description box. This is for a more intense, or excuse me, that's going to be in the community section. That's going to be for a more in-depth look at the divine masculine and the divine feminine. They also want you to receive it in the way you're going to receive it, because they also have much deeper meanings in the book than me just, putting that out there. But I do want to say that interesting that in the other card, it was two hands together. And now look at, we've got a hand of sun and a hand with like holding, I believe it's a crow. It's either a crow or raven, but I think it's a crow. And then the pentacle. So, oh my gosh, hold on. Are they both holding? So interesting. This one's like a seal of approval, or like, like a king, like when they use it like a wax seal when they were sending letters of like ceasefire, right? But the crone is like using her magic. So I feel like there's a deeper story to this, and I don't know when or how or if it's going to come into anything else, but I do feel like they want me to wrap it up. Do you want to go more in depth before I wrap this up? And either the cards or any more channeling? It's weird. It's almost like the door is like shutting and they're like, okay, come on. Like, we gotta go. Like when you're like, oh, like 1 minute you're like, okay. And then you're like, oh, I gotta go. And then you just like go, that's what it feels like. Okay. So is this going to be for a picker reading? Oh, look at, no, seriously, is this going to be for a picker reading? Is this for a picker reading? Okay. Do we want to do anything else with this besides what I said? Okay. Do we want to pull any more cards or do any more channeling or anything else? No, I mean, it's been an hour and 46 minutes plus. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I had no idea that it was going to go down this way. We are blessed, though. Thank you, Spirit. I'm in my cozies. Now I'm going to go and get this set up for the picker reading, which I'm excited for, so keep an eye out for that. Probably well, I don't even want to say when. I'm not even going to say when because I feel like, But interesting, I do want to say this, that Alder was born on a Sunday and I was born on a moon day. And that's kind of what this feels like, the sun and the moon. And that's the way I've felt since day one. So whatever's in our greatest and highest good, I wish us well. But I also want you to see that I feel like the divine masculine, the sun, is going to shine again. They're just at the really dark, and the divine feminine, I feel like, is like doing their best, like holding space. But once we get around to the year of the horse, a lot of things are going to change, literally. And then by 2027, 2026 is a 10 year, which is 1 when you take off the 0, right? And so it's about completions and new beginnings. And then 2027 is an 11 year, 2, the angels, and it takes 2, and wherever 2 or more gather. So lots of magic, a lot of medicine there. So, and peace. Yeah, I was like, what did you saying? Like they were saying, and they're like, peace. So 2027. So hang in there. We got this. Until next time, take really good care of yourselves and each other. All of my information is in the description box and on this channel. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, over the phone, through Zoom, or if you'd like a recorded reading, or if you'd like to contribute anything to this tribe. And I'm working on getting a new PayPal. I'm working on that. So I still have my Venmo, and they're still having me use the Amazon. So feel free. If not, remember that prayer is free, and I'll see you at the next reading. Bye. Love you. Blessed be. Oh, bye. I have to get in here without knocking it over. Bye.